The more that you try to make a relationship work with a man, the less it's going to work. The more that you're going to push him away, the less inspiration he's going to have to take care of you and cherish you, the less desire he's going to have for you, the less attraction he is going to have for you. So many women get this really wrong. And they get it wrong because of childhood. We're going to talk today about why this is happening. We're going to go into some childhood stuff, and then we're going to talk about what this looks like in your relationship or dating life, and how you should be showing up instead to actually inspire a man into taking care of you. So in childhood, what happens for many women is you are taught that love and safety is not an unconditional default thing, right? Like with my daughter, who's 3.5 now, more than 3.5, she knows that she's going to be loved no matter what. That doesn't mean that I'm going to enable unhealthy behavior or destructive behavior, her coloring on the walls, that kind of stuff. I'm definitely going to put a stop to that. But it means that she's going to experience my safety, my emotional centeredness, my care, my attention, no matter how she shows up, when she makes mistakes, when she's just doing her normal thing. So she doesn't have to work for love. This is what I'm getting at. She doesn't have to work for love. She doesn't have to work for my attention. I want to give it to her just because of who she is, because she's my daughter, even when she's acting crazy. And many little girls, unfortunately, don't experience that. What many little girls experience is that they had to work, that you had to work one way or another for your parents' care. And I'm going to talk specifically about your father, but your mother is going to play into this as well, absolutely. So you had to work for your father's care, for his attention. You had to be good enough in some kind of way, whether that's like getting straight A's, whether that's being really successful in extracurricular activities, whether that's being on your absolute best behavior, whatever that means, you had to work for it. And then that becomes one of your deepest wounds, where you learn, unless I am working for love and safety, I'm not going to get it. So then you grow up, you become a grown woman, start dating men, and this pattern stays with you. It doesn't just disappear just because you're now all grown up and you're not with your dad anymore. Now the pattern is the same. If I do not work to ensure that this relationship is successful, it's going to fall apart. I'm not going to be loved. I might be emotionally attacked. I might be abandoned. So I need to work for it. And so that's what you do. And that can look many different ways, right? That can look like, you're the one that's always initiating, trying to fix things, being the one that's planning, being the one that's trying to solve issues. It can be involved giving to him, giving him gifts, giving attention, getting into his space, all kinds of things. I've dated a lot of women actually like this, usually not for long, because it just really pushed me away. I didn't feel the attraction and connection that I needed to feel when women did this. So I could draw from many different experiences, but I'll just talk about one woman. This was actually a woman that I liked in many ways. In many ways, she presented as feminine, but she was also trying to make this relationship work by trying to plan things with me, initiating, taking me to special events, paying for me as well. God, I was so emasculated back then that I tolerated all this. Like, a healthy masculine man is never going to tolerate it when a woman does this. What a healthy masculine man should do is be like, hey, sweetheart, you don't have to do this stuff for me. Don't do this for me. Tell me what you're feeling right now when you're doing it for me, right? And lead her into her feelings. Help her connect with her fear of loss that's driving all of this, and have her fully feel it. That's what I would do today. That's what I do for women students in my academy program when they're, well, sometimes they'll even do it with us, even with my coaching team or with me. So certainly when they do it with us, or when they do it with their man, women need to be led into their feelings underneath that control pattern. Otherwise, they're going to continue to do the same thing over and over again. But back then, I had no idea about this. I was emasculated. I was quite successful with women, but I was emasculated in the sense that I wasn't stepping up to lead and protect women from their own unhealthy behaviors. Right? That is part of what being a masculine man is to protect a woman from all of her unhealthy behaviors that would otherwise push him away and also just aren't going to be feeling good for you. When you are trying to make a relationship work, when you're trying to put in that effort, that doesn't feel good for you. That feels terrible for you. And so a healthy masculine man is going to protect you from that. He's going to set boundaries to stop you from doing that. He's not going to enable unhealthy patterns. But I didn't know that at the time, so I absolutely enabled it, and partly because it just was making my life easier. It's just, okay, I don't have to do anything. This woman's going to be putting in all this effort, but the result is, yeah, I lost attraction for her. I lost connection to her. And eventually I didn't want to see her anymore because that attraction and connection just dropped so much. It's like I didn't feel like the man. And this, again, it's never about blaming a woman, right? Like I can look at myself and be like, yeah, there's all these things that I should have done. I could have led her in fully into her self-worth and had like an incredible relationship with her. But I didn't know how to do that. And me telling you exactly how men should show up, I mean, that can be helpful, but not if it creates an expectation in you that they should be showing up this way, because they're probably not. But if you shift how you're showing up, they will probably reflect the shift that you are making. And so in this case, what that means is when you stop trying to make the relationship work in any kind of way, that's when he's going to start stepping up and putting in the effort to make the relationship work. And what does that look like? Well, first, stop doing all of the stuff where you're trying to make things work. And you're typically going to know when you're doing that because you're feeling some level of fear. Like you don't feel total ease in your body. You don't feel this openness, this relaxation where you're just fully letting go. You're fully open. Something else is happening that's compelling you into this control pattern where you are trying to make things work. So you stop doing that. But here's the problem. When you stop doing that, you're going to feel a lot of fear, typically. You might feel other things too. Like you could feel guilt. You could feel shame, right? Like, oh, I'm not being good enough, right? I'm not working hard enough, right? And then those stories come up and then it becomes an anxiety shame spiral where it's like, you're feeling really bad about withdrawing all of that attention and all of that energy, and then all that guilt, shame, anxiety compels you into doing it again. It's a really difficult thing to shift on your own. But the great thing is you don't need to do it all on your own. And this is another pattern that women typically get into, where it's like, I got to fix everything myself. I'm all on my own trying to make these shifts and trying to become more feminine. And how about you just ask for help? Have you considered that? You've got a man, and it doesn't even have to be a relationship. This can just be a man that you're dating. You've got a man that you're interacting with that likes you. I'm assuming he likes you, that cares about you to some extent, hopefully a lot. Ask him for help with what you're struggling with. Share about the fear that's coming up for you and any guilt, any shame, any other feelings that's coming up for you and what it's compelling you to do. Share that you don't want to go into these patterns. Share that you're trying to heal this, that you're trying to stop, that you're really struggling. Share that you don't know what to do, right? And this is where feminine communication comes in, and which again is another pattern that women really struggle with. Feminine communication is one of the things that I teach women in my academy program. One of the big things that shifts all the other patterns, right? Because if you just try to stop the patterns, first of all, it's really difficult. And two, it's not necessarily going to make a man shift and step up because you're still not in your self-worth until you're communicating everything that's in your heart, everything that's coming up for you. But where a lot of women go wrong is when they try communicating what's coming up for them, they're not using feminine communication. They haven't been trained in it. They didn't have a healthy father, like I'm doing for my daughter, where I'm teaching her feminine communication from a really early age, because feminine communication is naturally going to attract and inspire a man into taking care of a woman as much as possible. And it's just going to feel so good for the woman as well. And so you don't know how to do this, and then you end up pushing the man away because you're using a more masculine style of communication, masculine energy. Men are not wired to receive masculine energy from a woman. It doesn't feel good for us. And then you get the message, okay, well, I guess I shouldn't be communicating my needs and feelings and problems because whenever I do, a man doesn't respond well. But when you learn feminine communication, guess what? He responds very well, because he's wired to respond well to feminine communication. Unless he's so deeply emasculated that his masculine instinct is completely offline and he's not even able to hear feminine communication, in which case you shouldn't even be with him, because you can do way better. Especially when you start learning this work, when you start applying the communication, you can have the most masculine man in the world. Well, I mean, there's probably only one of those, but a very, very masculine man as you become really, really feminine. You don't have to settle for less. What you need is a man who is so masculine that he is putting in all the effort to make the relationship work. That doesn't mean that you're not doing anything. You're just being lazy and not working on yourself. No, you're working on yourself, but you're working on yourself for you. You're working on yourself because it feels better for you to be in your feminine energy. It feels better for you to not be energetically penetrating him, not leading him, controlling him, fawning because of him, avoiding sharing what's coming up for you. So you're doing all this work for you. He's doing this work, yes, for him as well, but also for you, for the relationship, to make it work. And that's masculine energy. So you feel, when you have that kind of man who's really putting in the effort, you feel amazing. You feel so much more in your feminine. You're able to let go. You feel the safety. You're being cherished the way that you're supposed to be. That's what happens when you make these shifts. He steps up in the way that you need, so that, and then you're not even feeling that gap like, oh, I need to make things work, because he's already doing it. It's like he's got things handled. So you've got to pull back and focus on you and just have faith that if you do this, he's going to step up and he's going to want to take care of you. And this isn't just stuff I'm making up. Like, I've seen this literally hundreds of times in my academy program, where women were in trying mode with men, always trying to make things work in their masculine energy, using more masculine communication, and nothing would work. Like, I'm talking women, like some women that we've worked with have literally never had any kind of healthy relationship before. And we've taken those women to day and night difference where they're just being fully cherished. They're being taken care of. They're able to just fully let go. They're able to fully receive. They're fully just sharing all the feelings that are coming up for them, and they don't have to try at all. This is what you need. This is what you deserve. This is absolutely what you can have. And if you would like my help learning how to make these shifts in your love life, whether you're single or in a relationship right now, I would love to speak with you and find out if it makes sense to work together. And the way that you're going to do that is by getting on a free discovery call with me, where we'll talk all about what's going on in your love life. We'll talk about what needs to shift. I'll tell you everything that I see, and then we'll find out, does it make sense to work with us? Can we get you the results that I expect? And then if so, you can work with us. The way you're going to do that is go below this video, open up the description, click on relationshipofyourdreams.com. That's my website. And watch the video on that page that I've created for you. And then if that all resonates for you, book that call and I'll see you there. That's it for this one.